during my own ancestral research, I found out 6 years ago now that I am the great-great-great-granddaughter of Sandy Wills. He was a slave in Tennessee, and he came of age right when the Civil War broke out. He was about 21 years old, and he fought in the United States Colored Troops for his freedom. Sandy Wills, he was the property of Edmund Wills, a slaveholder, and that's how I got my last name Wills, and that blew my mind. I mean, to learn this as an adult, as someone who has been saying my name and wondering, where does Wills come from? You know, that's one thing about African Americans. When we were brought here, we were stripped of our names and of our cultures and of all the things that we held dear in West Africa, and adopted something that was completely new. And to learn that at least that Edmund Wills bought your great-great-great-grandfather on an auction block, and that's why you're Cheryl Wills, was a heart-stopping moment, and also empowering, because at least I know the tragic event that led to my name, and I actually carry it proudly. Some people say, well, why don't you change your name now that you know? But I'm like, it's evidence of what happened, and it gives me power when I tell children about slavery. I'm like, you're Jesse O'Neill, well, the O'Neills probably owned your family. That's why you're Jesse O'Neill. And then you start to have a good understanding of how you came to be in America. I also learned through a DNA test that I was a descendant of the Bamileke people of Cameroon, which was such a wonderful thing, just to even have a sliver of understanding. I know it's not my total ancestry. I have a little everything in me, like most African Americans, but it's so nice to know that the Bamileke people I can claim as my own, because so much was lost. So I encourage people, do research into who you are. Do it with a spirit of education for your own family. Not everyone is going to write a book about it like I did. My book is called Die Free, A Heroic Family Tale, but it's still, even if it's something for your family, for your children to hold on to, because you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. And when we look at our children and we see them just falling for every little silly thing and calling themselves the N-word, this is a symptom of young people who don't know where that negative name came from, how it was applied, and why you should really never call yourselves that. And this is what happens when people don't know who they are. If you knew your great-great-grandfather was lynched and the last word he heard was the N-word, you wouldn't be calling your friend an N-word. You really wouldn't. So I encourage people to do research and find their own family history. It is empowering and life-changing, and it's one of the most enduring things you can do, because it'll survive you when they close the box on you and your story is over. But then your family will continue the story with a new chapter. And it can't be done if somebody doesn't do the research. So I think it's so beautiful to do that research. And the last thing I want to say on that is our ancestors should not be forgotten. No one here wants to be forgotten. All the work I'm doing, all the work the people watching this, all the work you're doing, imagine if 100 years from now no one knew your name or cared what you did. Well, that's the case for so many of our ancestors 100 years ago. They were here, they led honorable lives, they worked hard, and we don't even know their names. That's not cool. So do the research now. Everything is digital. Everything with the click of a keyboard. This keyboard is powerful. It can link you with your past for more than a century, 2 centuries. Take the time and find your family.